All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to IntelliSphere's Social Media Marketing Jumpstart webinar. I'm Amanda. This is Misha. I'm the marketing manager here, and he's a product manager. We're excited to share our best practices with you on social media marketing with a toolkit. We're also going to be taking you through how you can make your campaigns more effective, how you can make your posting more efficient, and just some brand standards that everyone should be using across the board. All right, you want to take it away, Misha?
Absolutely.
If you have any questions at any point, sorry, please use the chat on the YouTube live, or you can also email me at any time, amandaw@intellisphere.com, and I'll get back to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Amanda, and thanks everyone for joining us. So we're here today to talk about social media, your strategies on social media, and basically what we want to be doing is building your social presence online, establishing yourself on the internet, letting people know, kind of reaching out to both your existing customers as well as potential customers who could be buying your product, and then helping them find out about you. So to do that, the first thing you need to do is to choose your mix, which is a combination of your target audience or who you want to be talking to, whether those are your current clients, potential clients, whether they're located locally, nationally, internationally, ages, other demographics, basically deciding who you want to be talking to with your online content. Based on that target audience, you will choose the channels that you're going to be using. So the most appropriate types of content and the most appropriate channels will depend on who you want to be reaching out to. And once you've selected where you'll be posting your content, whether that's videos, photos, text, longer articles, humorous content, or whatever it may be, again, then you decide the tone you want to set and the information that you want to convey. Then you do want to have a presence on multiple channels. Not everyone's going to be on every single channel. Not everyone will be interested in, say, consuming videos, so you'll want to have different types of content, and by posting to multiple channels, you ensure that your reach is the greatest and the most people from all segments of your target audience will be able to see what you're talking about. And ultimately, what your goal is to control and spread your story. So decide how you want to present yourself, your personal brand, your business brand, how you connect with customers, what you want to emphasize about the things that you do, your business, your values, and getting that across to the people that matter to your business online. So here's how to distribute your campaigns and expand your reach. So as I mentioned before, cross-channel marketing is essential today. Almost every brand will have a presence on different channels. You'll want to be able to talk to the different groups of people that might reside on each channel. People look for slightly different types of content on each channel, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But again, you want to be hitting as many people as possible and going through different types of content across those channels. And with a tool like IntelliSphere, what you can do is you can distribute through all the key social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube for longer videos, a blog for longer articles or more informational content, as well as through email and web embeds on your website. So you're hitting, again, different people, and as your audience sort of looks at their different profiles, looks at their different social media apps, they'll see different content or important announcements from you on those different channels, helping keep you at the forefront of their minds. So what is good content? What do you want to be posting on your social channels? We break up content into two different types. There's personalized content, which is posts for your audience for their benefit. Those could be informational things like articles, blogs, different infographics, something presenting valuable information, They could be, fun facts, just something that people might find interesting related to what you do. They could be memes, jokes, other things, kind of more fun, playful content. And what you do with that really depends on your brand and your business. There's
And your audience.
and your audience, of course, and it depends on who you want to reach. If you're, say, a law office, you could share a lot of, very interesting information, very valuable information about certain legal cases, different laws that people might not know about, that people might find valuable, and those are good ways to create content that's interesting and valuable. But a good example of, taking it in a more fun direction is, for example, Wendy's Twitter is very well known because they post a lot of jokes, they make fun of their competitors, because, for a business like that, it doesn't necessarily make fun to post, or make sense to post informational articles about, burger patties or whatnot. Everyone knows what they do, so for them, staying current and getting people engaged and reminding people about them is about posting kind of funny content that people enjoy and share and get them viral information. Then the second type is the pretty standard promotional content. So things for marketing, things um, directly related to your business, offers, events, ways to interact with your customers. So polls, reviews, interactive things that people can do to communicate with you as a business or to make use of an offer, make a purchase from you, sharing, a discount that's happening, things like that.
There are also ways for you to learn about your audience, like polls and surveys. So a lot of times that'll be self-interested.
Mhm. Absolutely. And the ways to think about this is think about the accounts that you follow. What works for them? What combination of these things do they use? Um, uh, and ultimately, mix up your content. See what works, see what doesn't. You'll be able to see how many likes, how many shares you get different on different posts. And with a tool like IntelliSphere, you'll also get more in-depth insights readily available across your channels in terms of how many people subscribed, how many people saw it, so how many people find the things that you're posting valuable or not valuable. So play around, have a nice mix, and then see what really works, see what people respond to, and do more of that as you go forward.
We have a question. Tina Smith is looking to get more followers, and they have a tech buying consulting business. How much fun versus education should they be posting on their social accounts? How do they balance it? Okay, I can go ahead and take that one. So I would say that you definitely want to have a balance, because if you're only talking about education, a lot of times it can be hard to gain followers, and I see that that's your main goal. So you want to offer a benefit, which would be informational. So I'd say there's no way to know, but around a 50-50 mix is good. Give them educational and informational content. Let them know more about your business, but also make sure that you're throwing in, whether it's jokes, maybe pretty images, creative content, polls that are interactive and rather than being self-interested or something that they might actually want to answer. You can do all of these using IntelliSphere. Yeah, let me know if you have any more questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it ultimately really depends on who you're reaching out to, who your customers are. Are you working with more advanced people in that market? Then they might really appreciate some in-depth analysis or some really kind of advanced blog posts and things like that. Versus, again, beginners, they might appreciate a more fun look um, at tech buying and at your field. And again, you want to kind of blend those things while also maintaining something of a general brand identity and a general branding standard that you can use to be consistent, whether you're kind of, more joking around and posting something maybe less serious or more for entertainment purposes versus posting something that's purely educational or informational. Now, spreading awareness and growing your following. So, one thing we do really well at IntelliSphere is helping you get promoters, get kind of organic reach built up around your content. So to do that, you would invite people to sign up as your promoters. And we have a quick and easy form that lets you do that. You send it out to your friends, your family, potentially coworkers and vendors that you work with, and ultimately regular customers and people that seem to really appreciate and enjoy your business. Once they sign up, then you'll be able to go through and if you create a post through IntelliSphere, you'll be able to amplify it directly, or if you already have a post on one of your social channels and it's coming in, you can amplify it retroactively as well. And once that goes out, an email prompt will be sent that requests that your promoters go in and react and share those posts that you've made on their own social channels. So whether it's your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook post, you can amplify it, and then your promoters will know that this is something that's important, and they'll either share it or even just give it a like, leave a comment, and that increases the visibility of both your page and your brand overall, as well as this important piece of information, and it lets you decide which things you amplify, so you can drive people to important channels where you want to increase your growth, increase your visibility, and boost engagements on posts, which helps build your reputation, kind of what you look like online. When people look you up, you want them to see that you do have an engaged community, and you want to have this appearance that show people that there are people that are interested in what you do, and that'll make them want to join you and your community more. So what we at IntelliSphere urge you to do is to take charge of your social media. And we look at content marketing as this cyclical process where you'll want to go from creating and sharing and amplifying, and then looking at the results in the analytics, and then doing it over and over again until you really polish your technique, and you really figure out what content resonates with the people that you're talking to.
Which ones drive response?
Exactly. Which things get more clicks? Which offers are being redeemed versus not redeemed? Which types of content do people like and share? Again, is it more the fun entertainment, or is it purely informational, and or something in between? Is it more visual versus text based? All those things.
Content marketing is so broad. You really have a lot you can do here. You can test creatives, you can test messaging. But really the point of the cycle is to be learning from what you're testing, repeating it and improving it each time, so that you can get to know your audience and be giving them content that resonates with them, as Misha said.
Absolutely. And we also really want it to be easy to do these things, and it can be tough to remember to go onto Facebook every day and post something. Sometimes
and Twitter, you have to post even more than Facebook.
Right, exactly. There's some channels that people expect you to post more regularly. You'll really want to have a full kind of a full profile when people look you up, so that it looks like your business is active, engaged with the community, to establish your credibility, whether that's, again, having followers and engagement, so real people, and social validation for the things that you're saying, and for your business as a whole, plus, and you want, again, people to see that there's a community and there are fans that enjoy your business, and so you'll want to stick to the schedule and
create a schedule.
And create a
then
schedule.
Stick to it.
Exactly.
So I'll just hop in really quick, because this is a picture of a schedule that I created. You get to decide which channels you want to be posting to, how often, and that really depends on your audience. So like I said, Twitter, you want to post more often. As a best practice, I would say tweet at least once a day when you're starting out. Some businesses tweet a lot more, but I'm just going to tell you right now that It's not always necessary. We like to say that less can be more if your content is relevant and meaningful. So don't feel like you need to be keeping up with all of the huge companies that are posting like 100 tweets a day. Not that much, but you know what I mean.
Yep, absolutely. And with our scheduler, sometimes you just don't have the content. Sometimes you don't know how to say what you want to say, or you're just not feeling, the process of writing out some long blog post. So what we recommend is scheduling topics and labeling your post with topics so you can see at a glance which things work and which things don't, what things your audiences find interesting. And once you have more information about that, you can schedule out a topic and say, I want to talk about this, whether it's,
Let's talk about that more because
Right.
I'm not sure if people know what we mean by a topic. So basically,
So I think we could move to the next slide and that we'll talk about topics.
Okay, here we are.
Go ahead.
So it is important to keep your content diverse. You don't want to bore people with the same subject all the time. So with IntelliSphere, you can select which topics you want to be talking about. You can make it, let's see. It's a good content topic example.
So the things that we talk about may be digital marketing or
It's a broad
that is very broad. Maybe Twitter
right, or like
strategies or
Mhm.
how to make a good video, things like that.
Yes.
Or let's say a dentist might talk about proper dental care, things that they should be doing at home. They might be talking about new technologies that are coming out in that field. They might have posts about different foods that are healthy. There's a whole blend of things that you can do
Right.
and kind of treat as a topic and kind of create your own little mini series of posts that you talk about related to different things that your audience will ultimately find interesting or valuable.
And you can use it however you want. Those are more like categories of what your business relates to. But in my content planner, I actually even made a topic for posting about a GIF. And I remind myself to post GIFs on our Twitter every once in a while because we like to have some of that lighthearted, like entertaining, factor on our Twitter every once in a while. But it keeps you creative, and you can keep up with trends this way. And also, it's just an easy way to remind yourself if you haven't, if you're posting day to day, a lot of times you'll forget to keep your content, to mix it up really. And so this just keeps you on top of that.
Yep. And then we mentioned posting frequency a little bit, but again, you want to first of all see what is common on those social media channels. So Twitter, people expect to see 2, 3, 4 posts a day from a very active brand. Once a day is fine when you're starting out, but you want to be engaged. You want to keep popping up. Whereas on Instagram, if people go in and they see a bunch of posts in a row from a business, that tends to be seen as
even once a day is a lot on Instagram.
Exactly, yeah. So seeing a lot of posts from kind of a single source or a single business can be seen a little bit spammy, and that might get people to unsubscribe from you. So you really want to pay attention to what people do and what is considered acceptable on each social channel, how to both stay in your fans' line of sight, so make sure that people remember that they're following you, so that people kind of look out for your content, and when you are posting something really important, like a big discount, like a big sale or a big event at your business, people are aware of it. But also, again, you don't want to cross that line and become overwhelming or start seeming spammy, and eventually that'll just get people to unfollow you or unsubscribe, which is the last thing that you want when you're trying to build a following and build a brand online.
Right. You should never be posting content just for the sake of posting. You want to make sure that you're always adding a value because otherwise people will unfollow you if, you're posting crap.
Right. And again, just think about successful brands that you follow and pages that you like to see content from and what they do and how they do those things. So if you're thinking of posting content, think about how, just someone off the street might interpret that content. Is that something people will want to read? Or is it something that's, maybe too specific to your industry or to what you do? again, there's kind of a fine line as, say, like a dentist, between posting something about, how do you prevent cavities, that's kind of an easy, fun read, versus something that's very scientific that your audience just won't connect to.
Right.
And you want to always keep that in mind as you create your posts and as you decide what will or will not be valuable. And then you do want to have a brand standard of sorts, so kind of a theme, whether that's, as you can see here, a very clear visual theme in terms of colors and shapes and things that are used by this skincare brand specifically to stylize their Instagram, to really clearly show that every post is related to them and kind of have this one look and feel. You don't necessarily need to go as overboard in terms of making sure everything's the same color, but you do want to have a brand kit in place, and the brand kit within our system helps you theme your email communications, your engagements, things that you can send out, links to offers, those things, making sure that they're all in that same general visual style, so people do recognize that this is something that's coming from you, it's something that's coming from your brand. You'll want everything in general to look good and uniform for both for professionalism and for credibility, so people do again know that this is something that's coming from you and this is something that is your communication, that's part of ultimately your brand and your unified story and how you're communicating with your customers.
This matters on your website and across the board on all social channels, keeping your brand standards. But one place that I really want to emphasize is if you're on Instagram, this is really important over there. If you're trying to grow followers on Instagram, especially, people really enjoy the accounts that give off a nice aesthetic, whether it's cohesive colors or if it's just like the type of content that they post about. Sometimes you'll see ones that are like all memes. But regardless, it's just keeping it consistent.
Yeah. One thing you can do though is test different things on different channels. So again, Instagram's very visual, so you'll definitely want to put your best foot forward from the visual standpoint on Instagram. From a content perspective, from text and things that you post, you might want to separate, and on, say, LinkedIn, focus on more professional content and more articles and serious content, whereas maybe try playing around if you want to have more lighthearted and fun information. You might want to post that on, say, Twitter, where it is more common to post kind of short, little offhanded things that are more fun and entertaining.
Question. So someone needs to get creative images more than just their own logo. They're wondering where's the best place to do this. Do they just take photos and upload them? We like to use Canva to create designs. It's pretty simple to figure out. You can add in backgrounds and text. How would you answer this question?
So I'd say I think it really depends on how creative you are and where your strengths are. So if you have, a really beautiful, say, office space where you take your clients, you might want to post a few photos of that. Again, if you're a good photographer and you have some, products, or say you're a restaurant and you have some beautiful dishes and all your plating and things like that, you can post some of those images as well. If you have more of an artistic streak, again, you could try Canva's kind of a really easy, quick solution for graphic design for people that don't necessarily do a lot of graphic design, but you could get into some of the more serious tools like Publisher and Photoshop as well, and create more graphics and play with fonts and things. And again, it really depends on both what your strengths are and where you want to go with those things, as well as the message that you want to convey and the story that you're telling ultimately.
I'm not sure if I understand your last question, Catherine, but did you need a link to Canva? Okay.
All right, and then so as we said, you want to have kind of a general unified approach, but each channel is specific in what people find acceptable, what types of content people upload, what types of content you can upload to those channels, and what people expect. So you want to kind of find a balance between being branded and being very clear um, in terms of what you're posting across all these channels, but then at the same time making sure that there is something interesting on each channel if people see you in multiple places, and also that you're within those guidelines and within what's um, considered acceptable, what's considered best practice for those specific channels.
For example, you'll notice that on Twitter, hashtags are still pretty popular, and you will see them pretty often as you're scrolling through your feed. You can also use those to, you know, gain more awareness. Whereas if you're on Facebook, hashtags are, I'd say, almost practically dead.
Yeah, hashtags are very rare, and you might see one or two,
And they probably won't do much.
and they probably
don't
won't
help
do
with
much.
the search on Facebook. So that's just one of those platform-specific standards.
Right. And you, again, want to see what people are doing today, even on Twitter. You know, hashtags are still commonly used. Instagram as well, we see hashtags quite a bit, but you'll want to select, 2, 3, 4 hashtags and not put in 20 like people used to do a few years ago. Now that's considered kind of, again, a more spammy thing that just prevents your image from being found by people that are that might really be interested in that content. So pick a few hashtags that really identify what your content's about and put those up there. That's one example. There's a lot of other things. Some channels, stories are really popular.
We're big on Instagram right now.
We're very big on Instagram, much less so, for example, on Facebook. But again, you'll want to find those balances and see what people do on stories. So again, once you're figuring out what you want to do for your brand, we urge you to see what kind of big and well-established brands do. For example, on Instagram, for your posts, you'll want to post something that's more polished and people really take care, as you saw previously, to match up the colors, do all those things. Whereas stories are more a place to be genuine and kind of share sort of day in the life little snapshots of your business and of the things that you do, and kind of humanize your business and the people that work there.
That's big. Humanizing your brand online is big. It will really help you grow your followers, your following.
Right, exactly. Especially with young audiences these days, it's a very big thing you want to do, and especially on platforms like Instagram and Twitter. That's kind of like that's a big trend where the best content and the content that might get you more traction and might get more followers and potentially might be shared throughout different circles is really kind of that content that really connects with your audience, that really shows your business from a unique perspective. And you'll want to keep kind of the very professional, formal posting to places like LinkedIn, where that's still kind of more the norm. So ultimately, one of your purposes for doing all of this on social media is to connect with potential leads and interact with the circles where you want to be known, and to tailor what you're posting to be relevant to these people that you want to connect to. Once you've, again, started posting, you see you've got a bit of a following going, you see that people that are interacting with your things and clicking and liking the stuff that you create, you'll want to engage with them and engage them back. So like what they're posting, maybe leave them a comment, follow some of them. Again, kind of, balance it out. For things like that, you don't want to, come on strong or look desperate, if you will, by messaging a bunch of your followers. But if you do see people that that kind of interact with you a lot, doing interesting things, you might reach out, give them a follow, again, kind of engage with people that will either might, want to learn more about your product, answer questions, do those kinds of things, but also keep a lookout for people that are very active on these social media platforms as well, and they might become a great asset for you as sort of evangelists or promoters, as we call them, in that they might, share some of your content and help spread the word about you through their own networks, which might be pretty considerable. Um, then now it is becoming a little bit more difficult to get a lot of leads just through organic posting. That you'll definitely want to keep it up, and you never want to have an empty page. But to get people to your page, you might need to either do keyword searches, and that's something that IntelliSphere can help you with to find people that are talking about things that are relevant to your business, or you might need to do some paid advertising, retargeting, post boosting on channels like Instagram, Facebook, to get your information and your posts in front of people that might be interested in them, and that kind of helps get them into your network, and then helps get that conversation going. And ultimately, as we've said a number of times before, you do want to offer unique benefits to people when they follow you and uh, when they become a part of your network. So whether that's offers discounts for your business, or really interesting content, or fun, entertaining content that's always fresh and that keeps people coming back, you do want to have something that's unique to you.
Makes you stand out.
That makes you stand out, exactly, and help keeps people coming back, because they know that if they do go onto your page, if they search out your content, if they come across it in their feeds or wherever else, they know they'll get some value out of it, and that'll keep them again coming back and awaiting your posts, and really clicking the follow button.
Helping you with your engagement too.
Exactly, yeah, kind of coming in, commenting, liking. Whereas if everything's very kind of monotone or not very engaging, then people will be disengaged, and that doesn't help you
grow your followers or get leads.
Exactly. So the bigger picture of what we're talking about here today, keep your social strategy in mind, and with the right tools and strategy, we think that any business can be successful online.
Absolutely. Just keep in mind that your social strategy does revolve around your content. I know we said it a ton of times today, but your content really is key when you're trying to grow through your social media. With the right types of tools and strategies, you'll be able to reach new audiences, new people in places you might not have been able to before. That's really one of the hugest benefits that social media gives us today. You can generate more interest around your brand, again, using whatever content you're posting about. Just make sure it's engaging, and you're going to be able to drive your leads and responses from social, which is huge. Growing your business from your social media is something we would have never been able to do a few years ago. And finally, building your reputation and brand loyalty. So exactly what we were just talking about. You want to keep people coming back. You want people to say good things about your brand on their own. You want to have good word of mouth online. And that eventually creates a halo effect that makes it so that you won't even need to be doing a ton of outreach. You will have people talking about your brand, saying, oh, do you follow this account because it has this, this, and this? And then you'll just start gaining the followers and the likes without having to do much. So just keep working on it. It's a process. Honestly, all social media, whether you're trying to gain followers or leads, it's gonna take time, but you want to stay consistent. You want to have a schedule, and eventually it will happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, your ultimate goal is that your social media and the content that you have online does the talking for you.
Right.
And when people look you up, when people want to find out about what your business does, they're seeing the posts that you're making and the content that you create, and the kind of that establishes your reputation and credibility, and you're not relying on maybe a few reviews that you have no control over, or a business with the same name from a different city to kind of, overshadow the important work that you're doing through your business.
Okay, that is the end of our presentation. If there are no more questions at this time, we're going to move on to the demo portion. So let's head on over.
All right, give us 1 second and we will pull up our
tool.
And we will go through a few quick demonstrations of
how you can use IntelliSphere to improve your social media strategies.
All right, here we go. So here we are inside our company's IntelliSphere, and we're looking at, this is the post lab. So this is kind of your main go-to control center for where all your posts are for all of the different channels that you have connected to the IntelliSphere platform. To connect a channel, you will go into settings, and then under posts and content, there's a list of profiles that you connect. And on the social media side, we support both profiles and company pages for Facebook. You can connect your profiles on Twitter. You can connect both personal profiles and company profiles on LinkedIn. You can add a YouTube channel and post videos directly through our system. You can also connect personal and company profiles for Instagram. You can hook up your blog, whether that's on WordPress, Blogger, Tumblr, and those are the main kind of social sharing platforms that we support, and it's really easy to go in, hook these things up. We do note that, as with all tools, you will need to reauthorize the connection every couple months or so, but that shouldn't be a big problem, and we'll notify you beforehand when that happens, so you'll be able to use the tool seamlessly. In terms of all of your, in terms of the channels that you can post to through our system, that will be Facebook pages. You can post to Twitter. You can post to LinkedIn company pages, and you can post to your blog as well. So let's take a look at creating a post.
Okay, this is the post creator. When you first come in, it's going to show you whichever profiles you do have hooked up that you can post to. So you can see we have our LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. You can select multiple at a time, whichever ones you want to post to. Let's just do this guy. And then one of my favorite things about our post creator is that we have a built-in URL shortener. So where should we go? When you type in a link here and click shorten, it automatically will give you the link shortener. So that's great for the link shortener, the shortened link. That's great for your social channels, for social posts, because no one wants to have, first of all, it takes up a bunch of your characters when you have a long link. And also it's just icky looking in almost all of your social posts. So this is a really cool little feature. And then you can see off to the right side that when you use the URL shortener, it automatically pulls an image and metadata from your link. So there will be a title, an image, and a description. What's very cool about IntelliSphere is that you can actually go in and edit these directly, which is not usually something that you're able to do when you post a link. It's usually like set in stone, but here you can edit the title, the description, and you also have the option to delete and upload your own image here, or show multiple if you wanted to upload a second one. Down here, back where the profiles were, you also can schedule when you want your post to go live. This is the topics that we mentioned earlier. If you wanted to add a topic, we have, these are very much marketing related things, but GIF, remember? You would click OK, and then it marks it in your planner as that you posted about that topic on that day. That way you're keeping track, and like I said before, you're keeping yourself diversified in what you're posting about. could leave a note. You also could send your post to a certain location. And when you're creating a post, if you do want to amplify to promoters, if you've already created a promoter list, right here is where you would do so. You can preview before your post goes live, see what it's going to look like, and then either save it as a draft, schedule it, or submit it live. It's very straightforward. That same button that we just mentioned that asks you if you want to amplify your post can be found in the post lab for posts that you've already sent live in the past. So you'll see that option directly beneath any post that can be amplified. All you would do is click amplify, and then you have, as Misha said in our presentation, a notification that will go out to your promoters within about an hour that asks them to go and engage with your post, boost it, like it, share it, all of that.
Yep. And then, as we also mentioned here, you have all the posts that you have scheduled, and again, this is really convenient if you want to just get all your posting out of the way for the week. You can schedule things in here, and then you don't have to worry about staying on track or hitting the best times for people, making sure, say, your article goes out in the morning. You don't want to be dealing with that while you're rushing out of your door to go to work. You want that to just pop in and be there and ready to go whenever that needs to go out. And then it doesn't matter if you're on vacation or wherever you are, you're always staying on top and you're staying present on your social media. Then this is, as we mentioned, the planner. So here you can see all the posts that we have created, and then
the ones with the check marks are the ones that have gone live.
Yep.
And then the ones with the clocks are the ones that are still scheduled out for the future.
Yep. And here it's kind of an easy way to see all the stuff that you've been doing. These colorful bars that you see, like GIF here, mark that we wanted to post about some specific topic or a specific type of content on that day. And again, from here you have kind of a top-down view, what you've been doing during the month, how often your things have gone out. Here we can see, we're pretty active on Twitter. We can base our engagement and our success on different platforms and see where we might need to do more versus less.
Right. So you can see that we maybe need to post a little bit more to Instagram, but we've been really on top of Twitter, like he said. And when you do want to schedule out ahead of time, all you have to do is click on any date on the calendar and create that post for the future. You also could, directly from the planner, schedule your content topics up here in the left corner. You just click on that, and then you can create a new topic, or you can use one that you already had with the drop down. Just makes it really organized, really easy to stay organized with your content marketing.
Mm-hmm. So once you have been doing these posts and getting stuff out there, you can see one of the results of what you've been doing is in connections. Under social connections, you can see how we have connections coming in from different channels, and what most of these are people that have been engaged with your content. So while Facebook does limit the different people that we can pull, and just in general they've been a lot more tight about security in terms of just getting people's friends and things like that with some recent things that have been going on. We can get the people that have been engaged with your content, and those are the people that are really valuable to you and your business. So when you see someone from Facebook and it says engaged, and same thing from LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, these are the people that have liked or commented something that you've posted. And so now we can go ahead, say we want to take a look at whoever this is and reach out to them. It's really easy for us to get to that page, send them a message, again, give them a follow, a like, and kind of get a conversation going where, they go from these people that you usually might not notice, someone who just, casually sees your post, leaves a like, and then moves on. You can go back to them, get them re-engaged, show them that you care about them, and make them a customer, if not an active promoter, and advocate for your brand.
And IntelliSphere gives you the options to do that from within. I'm not sure if Misha mentioned this, but beneath the Facebook column, you can see that you can directly send them a message. On Twitter, you could follow them back. And with LinkedIn, you could add them to your leads, which we're about to go over.
Right, yeah. So you can see that here. On Facebook, if we click send message, it will take you to Messenger where you can reach out to these people directly. Here we can follow directly from the app. So if we, and then we get to select which channel we want to follow.
If you have multiple connected in your profiles.
Right. And then here, and now it's that easy, we followed.
The
results freak. Yeah, perfect. Now, one thing we do with Twitter and with YouTube at the moment, and with more channels coming soon, we do allow you to get leads coming in, and these leads come in based on keywords. So if we go back to settings and look at our leads and influencers, here we can enter keywords to find influencers, and what these mean are these are words that people might be talking about, and we want to see those people, and we might want to engage with those people. Whereas you can see one of our words is
phrases that relate to your business.
Exactly.
That people might be talking about.
Right. So in our case, social media marketing system is one of the keywords, and if people are talking about that, that must mean that they're in the business. They might be looking for a social media marketing system. They might be they might be an expert in that field. Either way, we want to see what they have to say. We might want to talk to them. They ultimately, again, might help post about our content, talk about us, and become a valuable asset for your company. So once you've entered these keywords, you can just go to leads, and under perspective leads, you can see all of these people. We can see how many followers they have, what type of, how many people they're following, who they are.
The biggest thing is probably the lead activity, because it'll tell you why it believes it's a lead for you.
Right.
And you can
decide. So this individual came in from the CRM system keyword, and this is a public post that they made about the CRM that they use. And again, we can see whether we might want to talk to them about our offering in that field, or learn more about what they're doing.
And if you disagree, if you don't believe that that's someone that is a lead, it's easy to just click on the reject button, and it'll take them out of your feed. If you do believe that they're a lead, you would click advanced, and you start to take them down your funnel with IntelliSphere.
Right, and that funnel is, you can follow them, connect with people, contact them, have them respond, and then ultimately close them once they are within your network, and either posting for you or doing whatever else. So I think that wraps up our talk for today. So
that wraps up the demo portion, at least. We had more questions. Okay. Accountant here. It's expensive to advertise. I write blogs and want to find people online. I don't have a question, but I want to know how. So you write blogs and you want to find people online. So that's kind of like what we were just discussing. Keywords is something that I would say to look into. I'm not sure what exactly. Oh, you're an accountant. Well, hello. So set up keywords that relate to your business and use those to go find people on Twitter. Let's see,
Yeah,
any
and
add-ons?
again, IntelliSphere can be used to create blog posts from that same place where you can create any post to your social media accounts. You can put in all your information, all your images, all of that in there, and then send that out and distribute it to your different channels. So by sharing that blog to say your Twitter, your Facebook, you can get a lot of quick engagement from people that are already connected to you, and then ultimately watch that grow.
Okay, I think that wraps up the webinar for today. We hope that you've learned how to grow your awareness and your followers. Thank you all for joining us. If you do have any questions, you can email me. Again, my email was amandaw@intellisphere.com, and this video will be on our YouTube channel. I think that's all for today.
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining us.